What's up, bibliophiles? We're going to talk about all the books that I am hoping to get to in the month of November. But before we begin, make sure you are subscribed and you have clicked the notification bell so you're notified every time I upload a new video. First off, the first half, well, not even the first half because it's going to be really quick. We are going to talk about the 5 books that I am in the middle of, that I started and got roughly a third of the way or halfway through in October, that are just gonna follow me into November. And first up, we have Fledgling by Octavia E. Butler. I believe I talked about this in last month's TBR video, but think black vampire who wakes up in the body of a 12-year-old and has amnesia and is trying to figure out who the hell killed her entire family. And she's also the only one of her kind can walk around and be out in the daylight. That's all I need to say, and that's all you need to know. Then we have American Spy by Lauren Wilkinson. This is a spy espionage novel that follows a black woman working for the CIA and is told in hindsight. We have our protagonist as she's telling her 2 young boys kind of the story of her career and her life, meeting their father, who is was a revolutionary in, is it Botswana? No, Burkina Faso. And how she, I believe, was sent there to infiltrate his ranks and ended up falling in love with him. And yeah, I mean, I'm listening to this on audiobook. It's narrated by Bonnie Turpin, who's one of my favorite audiobook narrators. And so far, so good. I'm about, well, there's no bookmark in this because, again, audiobook, but I'm liking it so far. Then we have Disorientation by Elaine Hisei Cho. Again, I talked about all 3 of these in last month's TBR, as well as the book that's about to come up now, but this follows an Asian American woman who essentially is trying to figure up a dissertation that she's no longer in love with, and also trying to kind of something. This book is weird and wacky and satirical and out there and funny, and it's giving what it needs to give. And honestly, the title Disorientation tells you everything that you need to know, because she is definitely disoriented as she tries to finish her dissertation. And I'm really enjoying it. Next up, another one that was on my hopefuls list from last month. We have Family Lore by Elizabeth Acevedo. This is a multi-generational novel that follows a family of women. Most of them have some kind of magical power. One of them is able to predict when people are about to die, and she decides one day to throw herself a living wake. This throws the family into a tailspin, and it is very anthropological and a gathering of family history and family tales. It has some aspects of it that are told in the past, but for the most part, a lot of it is told in the present day, and I've really been enjoying this. I expected nothing less from Elizabeth Acevedo because I have loved and read all of her previous YA novels. This is her first foray into adult, and so far she is not disappointing. Then we have a new addition to the hopefuls list because I was not really intending on starting it during the month of October, but I felt pulled to do so, and that is Out There Screaming, an anthology of new black horror edited by Jordan Peele. The tagline, or rather the subtitle, says it all. I've really been enjoying this. I have a hard time with short story anthologies, just being pulled back to them and pulled to keep reading them, and I have not had that problem with this collection of black horror short stories at all. Because it is an anthology, it is all different authors. Every story is a different author, and that usually takes me a bit to get through, but this is nothing short than genius, honestly. There's been maybe 1 or 2 stories that I've read so far where I'm like, that could have been like better or deeper, but for the most part, these are 4 5-star reads for me so far, and I'm looking forward to discussing this at the end of the month. Next up, we're going to dive into the books that I'm not yet fully into, and the way I'll organize this next section will actually be books that I've talked about on previous lists, right? Do you know, sense a theme here? And then we'll go on to books that I have not talked about on previous lists. So I can't remember if I talked about this in a previous TBR. I feel like this book has been haunting me. I am on page 34, okay? Was supposed to do a buddy read for. This book keeps staring me in the face. I want to read it. I want to read it. I have the sequel. I've read a book by this author and absolutely loved it. This is a YA fantasy book following our main character, whose name I forget, Voya Thomas. She comes from a long line of women who have some kind of magical blood power that is passed down from their ancestors. It is time for her calling, and her ancestors task her with killing the first boy that she falls in love with, and that is how she will get and keep her powers. That's not a spoiler. That is literally, I haven't even reached that point in the 34 pages. That is literally in the synopsis. And every person that I watch reviews from when they're talking about this book has loved it, so I'm also looking forward to loving it as well. Let me change this battery. Next up, we have Vampires of El Norte by Isabel Cañas. This is the same author as The Hacienda, which I read, I guess, a year ago and thoroughly loved and enjoyed. Think like light gothic historical vampire fiction with like a dash of romance, and it takes place during the Mexican Revolution, right? Short, quick synopsis, to the point. Again, I'm really loving the vibe of not knowing too much about the horror books that I am picking up. It lends you a nice, clean, fresh, fun ride. Then we have last month's pick. Yes, last month's pick for my book club Bibliophiles Unite, which you can join by clicking the link down below, and that is Yinka, Where Is Your Husband? And we discuss the previous month's book on the second Thursday of every month. So what ends up happening for me is that I end up not reading the book in the month that is for and reading it like the week of the discussion, so it's fresh in my mind and I can have fresh questions. But yeah, this one follows Yinka, and her aunties are always like, you know, where's your husband? And she feels compelled to go out, and even though, okay, let's back up. She doesn't really feel compelled to, but she's tired of people asking her this, and her cousin gets engaged or is about to get married, so she's trying to find a date to the wedding and all this other nonsense. And so it's supposed to be a story about finding yourself, and maybe there's a romance, maybe there's not. That's all I got for you. Then we have a sci-fi book that I'm about 9 pages into. I'm sure you're tired of me saying that because I'm pretty sure this was a rollover book last month as well, and that is The Archive Undying by Emma Mieko Candon. Think sentient city-states, think AI, think robots, think avatars, but not blue avatars and not airbender avatars. I mean like sentient beings having some kind of human physical body on the ground avatar. I've read this synopsis 4 times and I still don't know how to sum it up. Maybe I'll know how to sum it up once I finish the book, maybe not, who knows. Now let's get into the 3 books that are new. Actually, no, it's 4 books. The 4 books that are new to the TBR. So first up, we have Man-Made Monsters, which is a collection of short stories. This is the Be Too Weird Club pick for the month of November, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is a collection of, I believe, indigenous-based short stories. I don't have a physical copy, I have the ebook. So I'm trying to just like picture the, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I need to know. And I'm hoping that I have better luck with this short story collection than previous ones because this is all by the same author. So hopefully I like this author's writing, and wouldn't that be tragic if I didn't? That would be tragic. All right, next up we have the November pick for Bibliophiles Unite Book Club, which is Woman of Light. What I know about this one, Latinx Western. That's it, period. Like, that's the entire sentence. I'm trying to remember when this, okay, 1930s Denver. And it says, a dazzling epic of betrayal, love, and fate that spans 5 generations of an indigenous Chicano family in the American West, from the author of the National Book Award finalists Sabrina and Karina. Oh, I did not realize that that was the same author. I have that book and I read it. Yeah, wow, I never put that together, that was the same author. So it says, Luz Little Light Lopez, a tea leaf reader and laundress, is left to fend for herself after her older brother, Diego, a snake charmer and factory worker, is run out of town by a violent white mob. As Luz navigates 1930s Denver, she begins to have visions that transport her to her indigenous homeland in the nearby Lost Territory. Luz recollects her ancestors' origins, how her family flourished, and how they were threatened. She bears witness to the sinister forces that have devastated her and their homelands for generations. In the end, it is up to Luz to save her family stories from disappearing into oblivion. This one has been on my TBR for a while, and I'm excited to finally get to it. I'm looking at this really strangely because I've never closely looked at the cover. I've always known that there's been a woman on horseback, but it seems like she's also carrying a baby. And I just never noticed that. Next up, we have We Are Dying Gods by C.M. Lockhart. This is the second book in the Wrath of the Gods. I read the first book last year, again, thoroughly enjoyed it. What can I say about this series? Or rather, what can I say about the first book? We have a world, a realm, where it is split between their patron gods, right? And each patron god has chosen a human avatar that will or can embody some of their attributes. And a new player has entered the field. A new godly player has entered the field, and so the gods are scrambling to essentially gather together their avatars and fight this new force. It's always so interesting when I try to sum up the first book in a series after I've already read it so that I don't spoil anything from the first book. As I tell you that I prepared to read the second book. But I mean, that was a book I still think about that book sometimes. I've been contemplating rereading it, but I think I won't. I think I'll just review my notes for it and then head into We Are Dying Gods. And the last book on this pretty reasonable hopefuls list, because most of it is books that I'm already halfway through, is Glory Be, which is the first in a new cozy mystery series. This follows an older black woman who is trying to solve the mystery of who killed her best friend with the help of her daughter. That's probably the best summary I have given this entire video, and we love to see it. Practice makes perfect, all right? Yeah, that's pretty much all I got for this one. I don't know when this comes out or if it's already out, because I was sent a copy by the publisher. I love how I'm looking in here as if they put the month the books are published. They don't, they just put the year. So if this is already out, I might listen to this on audiobook because, oh, it came out October 3rd. So yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get the audiobook to this. Because I really enjoy listening to cozy mysteries, as well as reading them. I don't mind reading them, but usually listening to them is my preferred way of indulging in that genre. And yeah, that's it for my very reasonable hopeful / TBR list. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Comment down below, what are you hoping to read in the month of November? Can you believe that we are less than 2 months out from the end of the year? I cannot. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Click the notification bell so you're notified every time I put out a new video. Check me out on all of my socials as well as my Etsy shop where you can get this lovely and awesome sweatshirt. And you can join my book club, Bibliophiles Unite Book Club, also linked down below. I think that's it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!
Showing. I ain't living for the moment. I see what's mine and I want it. Hungry like a Pac-Man. I'm Bruce Wayne and Batman. I'm Naruto with a Hanzo. Got a sharp mind like I'm Einstein. Plus I'm copywriting, so it's all mine. Check it for me, I'm in the sky.